Ellie. Welcome to this week's VHPS news. On Wednesday, 11th of November, we celebrated Remembrance Day by wearing poppies and having 2 minutes of silence at 11 a.m. Mr. Diamond and Mr. Rothwell presented a very powerful virtual ceremony to us all, explaining the symbolic meaning of the poppy and how they were grown on Flanders Fields. We remember the soldiers who, at the going down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them.
Good morning, Victory Heights. Thank you ever so much for joining us today on this very special day in our calendar, where we remember those who have given their lives to protect our freedoms as part of armed conflict throughout time. I'm joined as well today by Mr. Dowman, who is going to give you a little further explanation as to why the poppy is a symbol of remembrance and why we celebrate on the 11th of November. So, Mr. Dowman, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Mr. Rothwell. Good morning, Victory Heights Primary School. It's a real honour, actually, today to be able to lead this assembly. Today is the 11th of November. It's Remembrance Day. And I don't know if everybody can see, but I'm proudly wearing a lovely poppy here that Miss Lisa and Miss Rika made for me. And I'm very, very grateful to be wearing it. Now, I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but this is a fact that although poppies are red and we use it to help us remember on Remembrance Day, actually poppies can come in different colours. You can sometimes have white poppies, orange poppies, yellow poppies. It's just a fact that I learned the other day, which is quite interesting. But today is Remembrance Day. And what is Remembrance Day? Why do we have a day such as this? Well, it made me think that there's a song that we sing in school called Spirit of the Union. And there's a line in it that says, we are safe here with our family in the UAE. And it's correct for most of us living in the UAE. The UAE is a very, very safe place to be. It's a lovely life to have. In the world, though, there are places that people don't feel safe. Perhaps these are dangerous places and people don't feel very safe. Now, over 100 years ago, people really didn't feel safe because there was a time when the world were arguing quite a bit. And unfortunately, there was a war which involved lots and lots of different countries. And lots of brave people, lots of brave men and women were asked to fight and stand up for their country. And unfortunately, some paid the ultimate sacrifice and lost their lives. And today it's really about that and remembering those brave men and women who fought. So Remembrance Day is on the 11th of November. And the poppy is what symbolizes that day. We honor all the people who died in World War I. We also think about anybody who is involved in dangerous conflicts around the world today as well. Just as a bit of a fact, World War I finished on the 11th of November, 1918, so over 100 years ago. This is a picture that Mr. Rothwell and I thought really signifies that kind of celebration and remembrance. And this is a place in France, and you can see where the cemetery is and how it's all laid out. On the day, people hold a 2-minute silence at 11 a.m. And this is a picture from England, and it's the Queen of England, and they are having a parade to remember, and they're standing there and they're having a 2-minute silence, thinking about all the people who lost their lives during that conflict and around the world today. So during the 2-minute silence, what I like to do is to think about the people who died and spend that time just really thinking about how grateful I am that somebody stuck up for me and tried to make my life a little bit safer. I talked about brave men and brave women who, you know, they went out and they showed so much amazing courage. But this is a picture of a boy. In fact, this boy is called Sidney Lewis. He was actually 12 years old, and he felt so strongly about helping his country and helping his family and his friends and his community. And he decided to say that he was actually 18 years old so that he could become a soldier and help the armies to fight in that conflict. And his courage and his bravery is amazing. So boys as young as 12 who were actually saying that we're 18 is such a huge thing to consider. In those 2-minute silence, we're really saying thank you. Thank you for them protecting us, looking after us. Just to show you what the conditions were like during the World War I, this is a picture of some soldiers in a trench. They would spend hours and hours and hours in the trench just waiting for the signal to go out and fight. Now, poppies. Why the poppies? Well, in France and Belgium, there are lots of fields. And during that conflict, in the battlegrounds, which were the fields, lots of soldiers lost their lives. Poppies didn't really grow because of the destruction during the war, but afterwards, because of a chemical called lime that went into the soil from the destruction and the debris of everything, poppies started to grow. And the whole fields were full of these red poppies. And lots of people looked at that and felt that the growth of these beautiful poppies signified hope that things were going to improve. And there's a picture there of a poppy field. The poppy is now a sign of Remembrance Day. And we all, like myself, wear a poppy, and it just helps us to remember those soldiers and those brave men, women, and boys who fought in that war. And this is interesting. The poppy really inspired a lot of artists. And this is a picture of a place called the Tower of London. And these aren't actual real poppies, but these are poppies that have been made from ceramics. And there are hundreds and hundreds of them. It's actually been made by an artist called Tom Cummins and Tom Piper. And it really inspired them to have a permanent memorial for this particular day. Many people buy red poppies to honor the day. And I think this is a picture of some veterans, some soldiers who are collecting, some of them collecting money, and people will buy those poppies, and the money goes to help care for the veterans, the older veterans who've been involved in lots of different conflicts around the world. Now, there's a poet called John McCrae, And he was really inspired. He lived a long time ago, around about the time of the First World War. And he wrote a beautiful poem called In Flanders Fields. And just before I pass you back to Mr. Rothwell, I think it's important to read this poem because it really talks about why the poppies are so important in our remembrance service today. In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow. Between the crocuses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely sing, singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep through poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
Thank
I think I'll go back to Mr. Rothwell.
Thank you, Mr. Dowman. Some very considered words from you there. We're very shortly going to commemorate Remembrance Day with a 2-minute silence. And I thought I'd very quickly tell you what's about to happen. You'll hear the bells of Big Ben chime, and then a 2-minute silence will begin. At the end of the 2 minutes, you'll hear some bugles, which is an instrument like a trumpet play, and they play a piece of music called The Last Post. And the reason that they play The Last Post is it commemorates when guards were walking around military installations. They would signify that they have checked all of the posts by playing the bugle call. And it would also signify to those on the battlefield that time for fighting for the day is over. And then after the last post is another bugle call, which is called the rouse, which is a sign of a reawakening. So the last post is kind of a remembrance of people going to sleep for the final time. But then they play the rouse, which says, well, we're in a new day now. Let's celebrate the freedoms that we have. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
What a thought-provoking commemoration ceremony, gentlemen. Greatly appreciated. So what is coming up over the next few weeks at VHPS? Well, on Sunday the 14th of November, we will be raising awareness of type 1 diabetes. Anyone who wants to wear a 1Z, get it? Please free to come do so. On Monday the 15th of November is the beginning of Anti-Bullying Week, so we are all wearing odd socks. It's a great way to celebrate what makes us all unique. So, you will have seen on the app that we have all been learning Makaton Sign Language for our own whole school song. What a wonderful world. Hope you can all get involved in it. So, now you know what we love, that we love our bread and butter curriculum. Our Victory Heights, which is why we all are such fans of Timetable Rockstars. Get your Rockstar on Thursday, the 26th of November. I know what you all parents are saying. Too many dress-up days? But you know what? Let's do it. Anyways, us kids love them. Remember, we are all negotiating and nattering in November. So feel free to get those videos to Miss Session, discussing what makes a community and an extended family. Finally, guys, it's the World Kindness Day this Friday. All of us at VHPS value kindness. We consider others and always use our manners because they matter. Be kind to one another. So it's a masalama from me and Ed. Remember to stay safe as we all say. All you need is love.